In LA this week, a San Fernando Valley community puts together a holiday surprise for families in need.
I'm Anna Marcos here at the Museum of Illusions in Hollywood, where you can catch a few thrills, and we are upside down!
How the City Library is inspiring Angelinos to explore their creative side. I'm Rasha Goel, and that story's up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Yana Kay. On this Thanksgiving week, we look back at some of our favorite feature stories from LA this week. We start off with a Thanksgiving story, of course. The holiday spirit is in full swing as volunteers, including Councilmember John S. Lee and his family, helped make Thanksgiving baskets at the North Valley Family YMCA.
The YMCA, North Valley YMCA, gets together every year. This is our 13th year of doing this. And we put together baskets and Thanksgiving, fruits and vegetables for different families. Take a look around. You'll see hundreds and hundreds of people here because our community always comes together anytime we ask.
Stuffing, mashed potatoes, cake batter, gravy, corn, green beans.
All local schools, we ask them to give us a list of all the different families, the needy families that would benefit from this program. They get a list, they tell us how many they need, and then we'll deliver to them to the schools.
Our society nowadays, it's good to teach our children and the next generation how to lend a helping hand.
I want to be a kind person to everyone.
Families also had the option of choosing a grocery store gift card instead of a basket. As if Hollywood isn't already full of fun places, are you ready for another? Well, the Museum of Illusions will titillate all your senses and leave you hanging upside down. Or will it? Anna Marcos takes a tour.
Here at the Museum of Illusions, you will get plenty of thrills, including this upside-down house where you can do all kinds of crazy antics!
All the childhood fantasies or nightmares you ever had are about to come true at Hollywood's Museum of Illusions.
Illusions are awesome.
Can you walk on the ceiling? You bet. And is this guy doing yoga on top of the fridge or holding up the fridge? Jurassic dinosaur bones for your dog? You got it. Or how about a little time on the red carpet hobnobbing with the stars?
He's amazing. It kind of just emits like 3D and just like your perspective of it. It's kind of cool just messing around, taking pictures.
It kind of expands our little imagination of like our children, how we used to be like when we were 5, 6 years old. It's like we're kind of playing it out, and so it's pretty cool.
Pretend like you just saw a shark right there. What would you do? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Oh yeah, you even get concierge-level help posing for your pics if you want, from the very imaginative staff.
I didn't scream! 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Cupcake joys, having to escape skyscrapers on fire, fantasies colorful, pretty, bad, scary, and ugly are all at your disposal.
I'm like, yo, let's smile, let's have fun, be extra, because this is the place where you can do that.
Yeah, I just wanted to have fun, give the best action that I could.
For some people, though, all of Hollywood, both inside and outside the museum, is one big fantasy funhouse.
Like if an artist were to just pronounce his imagination, I feel like Hollywood is a definition. Like I really love Hollywood. It's a piece of art.
Michelangelo, move over.
For more information, visit laillusions.com. As you've probably heard by now, Hollyhock House in Hollywood is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's like the Oscars for cultural and historic value, and people are visiting in droves. Anna Marcos takes a tour and joins the curator in a game of I Spy.
First order of the day when you enter the Hollyhock House is put on your booties. And you can see why. There's actually lots of people in this house, sometimes as many as 40 visitors, and visitorship has actually doubled since it went on the UNESCO World Heritage List.
We know that we have history. We know we have great architecture. We know we have outstanding universal value. The world hasn't always thought so. And so now we don't have to justify it anymore. We've got it and we're recognized for it. And UNESCO's done it.
Hollyhock House, the crown jewel of Barnsdall Park, was built by famed architect Frank Lloyd Wright as a hilltop home for oil heiress Aline Barnsdall in 1921. It becomes the first LA landmark listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, joining an exclusive club that includes the Statue of Liberty and Yosemite National Park.
You had this iconic architect, Frank Lloyd Wright, move into collaboration with a single woman oil heiress who is also an artist and a political radical. And the two of them began a collaboration to, in a sense, create an oasis in the middle of Los Angeles.
We call it Hollyhock House because Hollyhock House was Aline Barnsdall's favorite flower, and she asked Frank Lloyd Wright if he couldn't possibly use it in the design.
And this is a hollyhock?
And this is Frank Lloyd Wright's abstract version of the hollyhock.
The stone architecture looks kind of like Mayan or Aztec. It's very cool.
Did you know that that's actually an abstract design of the hollyhock flower?
I did not know that. That's awesome.
The fun game is to how many hollyhocks can you find?
How many?
Well, a lot, but it's real easy to find the one in the carpet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they are everywhere you look.
You get to add to your list of I Spy hollyhocks.
Is this a hollyhock?
It's an abstract, yes. There are elements of the hollyhock design in these windows as terms of architecture.
So you have the real hollyhock and the abstract hollyhock.
Yup, the real flowers are planted everywhere, but in spite of the name, there's more to this house than just hollyhocks.
This is made of cast concrete blocks. It's a abstract design. Frank Lloyd Wright looked to nature for all his inspiration. You have water, you have fire, you have earth in the concrete, and you have light.
I really love architecture, so I wanted to kind of figure out like what was so special about it and like why there was like so much hype around it.
I'm a really big fan of Frank Lloyd Wright. I just really like his style because it's so simple and natural and really evokes the elements of the earth and nature.
I want you to take a look at the back of this chair.
It's a hollyhock.
It is.
And so, a Hollywood landmark has now been upgraded to one of the world's most important cultural and historic sites.
For more information and to schedule a tour, visit culturela.org and click on Hollyhock House UNESCO designation. LA's Department of Cultural Affairs manages the site. A new upgrade is in store for LA's Emergency 911 Dispatch Center. Anna Marcos finds out how the business of saving lives is about to go more cutting edge.
911 Emergency Operator 230.
LA's 911 Dispatch Center is now in the middle of training all its 911 operators so that they stay ahead of the curve. That's because the state of California is getting ready to change to its next-gen 911 system, and LA will be ready. In fact, part of its program will go on board this month.
As this on-the-job training shows, LA is indeed jumping the gun when it comes to the new cutting-edge technology.
Well, Next Gen 911 is all about being capable of getting videotape from the public, and if you're in a high-rise building, we can pinpoint what floor you're on or what room you're in. Right now, we're talking about California in November 2021. Eventually, the whole nation will be involved with this.
And sometime this month, The computerized part of the program will kick in at LA's 2 dispatch centers, one in downtown LA and one in the Valley.
We went from our flip phone, and now I think this is a smartphone. It's a smart computer.
All this while the center handles its usual workload of as many as 11,000 calls a day. 911 dispatchers not only field calls from the public, they mobilize the officers who respond.
They are lifesavers. I call it proactive dispatching.
I took a suicide call, and a gentleman wanted to take his life. And I said, was anybody with you? And he said, just me and my dog. And I asked him, well, who's going to take care of your dog when you leave? He's like, well, I didn't think about it. It was rewarding to me that I saved him and his dog.
Besides all the calls, many of the 911 dispatchers are also instructors. Miguel Estrada has a new trainee, Selena Guerrero.
What's the name of the church?
We do a lot of prompting, like if the questions, like, okay, ask her this, ask her that. Does she have any weapons?
Okay. Does she have any weapons?
I just had a shooting call, and yeah, the lady was frantic, so I wasn't able to get the information I needed from her right away. So it was trying to calm her down to get the information.
So was that a scary trial by fire kind of moment?
Yeah.
We put them through extensive training, and by extensive I mean weeks and weeks and weeks of training.
And did you know some of these dispatchers get to go to the Emmys and Oscars and other big LA events? They help with emergency calls there, well, virtually, not in person.
I'm at a separate location, so I'm not dressed in a gown.
911 is also trying online reporting for certain calls. For example, during 4th of July or New Year's Eve, you can get an app and report fireworks or loud parties online.
July the 4th, for an example, we take up to 16,000 emergency calls that day. When you're calling 911, you are tying up the system for real emergencies.
And that next real emergency could be your own. Whether dispatch operators can answer it within 15 seconds or half an hour could make all the difference.
And remember, if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you can call the non-emergency line at 877-ASK-LAPD. That's 877-275-5273. It's a ride that's helping improve the quality of life for seniors, giving them an easier way to get around town. Rasha Goel has more.
I think City Ride is the best thing that could possibly happen for senior citizens.
At 91, Pat Philly goes to her part-time job and uses the City Ride service to get her to and from work. City Ride is a transportation assistance program with curb-to-curb service available for LA residents over the age of 65 and for disabled individuals.
You call in, you make a reservation 2 days in advance for medical trips and 1 day in advance for all other types of trips. You call and you give them the address, and we will pick you up in front of the curb of your home.
With City Ride, seniors can schedule doctor's appointments, visit family and friends, plan for recreational and social activities, or even go to work.
It has helped me tremendously because I cannot drive on that freeway with the traffic, and I do need to work for a living. If you're able to use City Ride, use it because it is so helpful and it's comfortable.
Basically, you need to fill out a simple application. You send us a check for $21. If you're low income, it's $9 to register for the program, and we go ahead and put $84 back on that card. That subsidy amount was strictly for you to be able to use to take trips for 3 months.
The City Ride program also offers participants subsidies for taxi rides within the city of LA through the 9 taxi cab companies the city operates. It's a service Pat has also used.
I have asthma, and my daughter has had to take me to the emergency hospital in the middle of the night, and they always keep you there 4 or 5 hours. So I tell her to go home, and then I take a taxi home.
And we will give you $20 worth of value so you can call a taxi all over the city of LA. We're also going to be introducing an app so that it also allows the flexibility of people to just go on their phones to be able to make the kinds of payments that they need.
And City Riders can also ride free on the Dash Bus. City Ride is wheelchair accessible, and the maximum cost for a one-way trip is $4.
City Ride is available weekdays from 6:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and taxi cabs are available 24/7. For more information, you can log on to ladottransit.com or call 818-808-RIDE. They're creepy and they're crawly, and for many of us, they can be a little scary. But for some people, spiders are beautiful and gentle creatures that are more scared of us than we are of them. We head to the Spider Pavilion at the Natural History Museum.
To some, they are creepy, crawly things. To others, they are beauty in motion. The new Spider Pavilion that just opened at the Natural History Museum is crawling with eight-legged web weavers of all kinds, hundreds of them, and they are everywhere.
So could we be walking and a spider falls on top of us, one of these big giant spiders?
You never want to say never, but generally speaking, when people are coming in, it doesn't happen.
Okay.
They're really safe and comfortable in their webs. They're very secure. They're not dropping or falling on people.
It was really fascinating, much bigger than I thought they would be. And they really kind of are everywhere.
So what is it people tell you the reason that they're scared of spiders?
Mostly it's the legs.
Yes, all those many long, hairy legs, doing things. Val Hatcher, a guide at the Spider Pavilion and the museum, says these insects are things of beauty.
You're a spider lady?
I am a spider lady, yes.
Did you know that without these spiders, we humans might starve to death? According to our guide, the spiders eat all the bugs and insects that might otherwise gobble up our food.
The mist is here. We do want to make sure that our spiders have everything they need, both food and water.
To Hatcher, the eight-legged creatures are not just beautiful, they are artistic. They are clean, neat, and industrious. We saw many quite focused on their life's work, weaving all those webs. Oh, and they recycle too, often eating their tattered webs in order to rebuild them.
One's eating another spider.
Oh, it's eating?
Yeah.
That one's eating.
And these spiders can be bloodthirsty cannibals. Up, down, and all around, the creatures lurk, waiting to see who falls in their web. But no need to fear.
If something big and scary walks by them, their number one response is to run away and hide. So they want to get as far away from us as possible. Yeah. They are way more scared of us than we are of them.
It was fun, overwhelming. We were a little scared at first, but then we started to relax and started to see how cool they were.
Are you bigger fans now? No?
I'd still probably call my mom.
For more information, visit nhm.org and click on the Spider Pavilion. Dealing with work and family obligations are enough to stress anyone out. But there's a place in South LA that offers tranquility and peace of mind. Anita Bennett takes us inside.
On this busy stretch of Adams Boulevard in South LA, there's something you'd never expect. A spiritual oasis called the Peace Awareness Labyrinth and Gardens, and it's helping Angelenos unwind.
I think everybody needs a place to get away, and sometimes you can't go, far away. So being right here in the middle of the city just makes it really convenient for everyone.
Sean Redding is a working actor, but the stresses of going on auditions, waiting for callbacks, and learning his lines can be overwhelming.
Well, a lot of times I come to meditate. I'll come to the gardens here and I'll just sit down and do some breath work, some meditation.
Paramjeet makes the trek from Northridge. She likes to attend the one-day retreats and healing events.
For me, I'm a very sensitive person, so I can really tell and feel when my nervous system feels overstimulated. And there's really nothing like meditation to get that relaxed feeling.
Each year, about 5,000 people come here from across the LA area. And when they're not taking classes or attending events, they walk this labyrinth to meditate and reflect.
So our thing is like we are providing what people need most, which is relaxation, de-stressing, and peace. And that's become, absolutely vital in our society.
The facility opened to the public in 2004, and while some people come to meditate on the park benches, others reflect or listen to the relaxing sounds of a waterfall. Visitors say this tranquility is just what they need to recharge.
Admission to Peace Awareness Labyrinth and Gardens is free, but you need a ticket to go inside. Head over to peacelabyrinth.org for more information. It's a new lab that puts creativity within reach for all LA residents. Rasha Goel has more on how the Central Library is encouraging people to expand their imagination.
Imagine walking into a room with all the latest technological tools to create anything you want. Well, it's here at the Octavia Lab at the Central Library in downtown LA, a do-it-yourself center to dream, explore, and create, and it's open to the public.
We have this lab at the library because we are looking to show how people learn and how people become more technologically included inside our fast-changing world. We're trying to create, have people have access to technology they would not normally have, either in schools, like little grade school kids, or as adults.
The lab is named in honor of Octavia Butler, an acclaimed pioneer of science fiction who broke ground as an award-winning author in a male-dominated genre. She regularly spent her time at the Central Library.
She was a well-beloved library patron. She was coming to the library pretty much every day, every week, every month, depending on where she was living, from the 70s into the 90s. She would pretty much have her favorite table in the history department. She would do research, she would write here, and part of her credo and her belief and her advice to people is to be persistent, to use the library, and to be creative. All you need in order to create universes is the library.
There are so many different stations to choose from. Now, this is really a great opportunity to get your creative juices flowing. I have to say one of my favorites is the 3D printing. You can create anything you want and print it. So whether it's the library or, hey, an Eiffel Tower, you basically come in, create the design you want, and print it as a 3D model.
You can cut your own artwork, logo, or design, or use the computerized embroidery machine to stitch your own items, or take photos and videos with a green screen, or even perhaps make a movie or podcast in the studio.
Okay, so who still owns some of those old VHS tapes, audio cassettes? You know you have them. Well, this might be your favorite station then. V, I understand that we can convert some of that stuff so we can preserve it?
This is going to be the equipment that brings in the generations. So this is a DIY memory lab, and with it you can convert reel-to-reel, 8mm, we can record VHS, we can record cassettes, you haven't seen one of those in a while. And from it, using a piece of hardware called right over here, and it converts an analog signal into a digital signal. So you can convert these items into MOV or MP4, MP3, stuff your kids would understand or your little kids will understand. But pretty much this is a way of preserving our heritage and having it continue on digitally.
I love that. So, and I can bring my personal tapes in and convert them here.
That's the plan, yes.
All right, I think I'm gonna come back for this one for sure.
The Octavia Lab is a digital media maker space that is free to use, and all you need is your library card. There might be some printing charges depending on the projects.
And if you're not feeling sure about what to actually do, well, you can always come to this machine and there's a message of inspiration. In fact, you'll get a quote along with even some suggestions on what you can work on.
So put on your creative hat and make your way down to the Octavia Lab, only at the Central Library in downtown Los Angeles.
For more info, log on to lapl.org/labs. Can the transformation of a mom-and-pop store help improve the health of an entire community near downtown LA? While Lupitas Corner Market owner says yes, as they reopen their doors with a much healthier menu.
A little more paint, shelving, and the stocking of merchandise, and Lupitas Market is almost ready for business. The business of making the community healthier.
Once a year, we do select 1 or 2 small markets to become a transformation.
Right now, we're trying to catch up. We are bringing in some merchandise. We're bringing in fruits.
This was Lupitas Market just over 6 months ago. A dark, cramped mom-and-pop store on a street corner near downtown LA, where the snack du jour for kids coming in after school was often junk food. But Luz Arango, her mother and family who owned the store, wanted to change that and lead the way to healthier food choices.
A lot of our community, they find it really difficult to go to stores and travel miles away just to have either healthier food options. Having a community market that has everything that everybody needs is what we have become. It's a very passionate project for a lot of people, as it is to our family.
The Los Angeles Food Policy Council, which helps stores go healthier, stepped in, awarding Lupitas Market a chance at a complete store rehab through its Healthy Neighborhood Network Market program. Now, $100,000 in renovations later, the market is ready to be reborn.
The basic menu is going to be affordable for the community, and they're going to have salads, we're going to have soups.
The Healthy Neighborhood Market Network program is to help small business store owners in underserved communities, specifically small market owners, to have healthy, fresh, affordable options. These are communities that are generally categorized as food deserts.
The project got a lot of help with pro bono work from the Gensler architectural firm and Build Group Construction.
We had this idea of a farmer's market, so where you would have baskets of fruits and vegetables, and that's what we designed into the furniture in the front.
There's going to be seating out front behind the counter here, and the challenging part was the storefront walls. We had to actually tear it down.
For the kids who still expect to get their daily after-school snacks, Lupitas Market is offering curbside service during the renovation.
So the kids come even though you're remodeling?
Yeah, they told me, oh my God, Lupitas no more, what happened? And I said, no, I'm here. So I want to say to everybody, I'm here.
Oh, they are definitely here, better than ever. And bananas, oranges, tomatoes, and yogurt never look so good on a shelf.
That's it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder, you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more of LA This Week.